Hi everyone. So starting with a little bit of backstory, I have been using this simple CLI timer, which is just a bash script. It basically runs a timer for the number of minutes you enter while executing the command, and then after a period of time, it just sends a notification that it's done. That's it, nothing else. And recently, also, I started using a DNS service called NextDNS, which is a simple DNS, but also allows things like blocking websites and blocking particular domains, etc. So recently, one idea came to my mind that why not extend this timer, or rather convert this timer script to something generalized where the timer will run, but before the timer starts, you can hook into this and literally perform any kind of automation tasks. So in my example, what I wanted is that when the timer starts, I can basically change my DNS profile to some other profile, next DNS profile particularly, which has some websites blocked, which are kind of distracting websites or something like that. And when the timer ends, then again the profile gets reverted and those websites are again not blocked. So just for that particular period of time, those are blocked. So for this, I thought about that let's create a fork of this simple CLI script and let's write a generalized script and convert it in a generalized format so that not only this DNS thing I mentioned, but literally any activity can be integrated with this script and can be used. And after that, I created that generalized script, and after that thought about why not releasing it as a Arch package so that it can be not only for me it's easy to use, but anyone else can also use it and extend it, and all the general functionalities like these DNS change or any other generalized activities which can be used by a larger group of people can be integrated as a drop-in and published as the official package. So let's look at the codes now and see how it works and how this package publishing works. I will not go into very deep regarding the package publishing part because there are other good articles, tutorials on that part, but we will just focus on the script part and little bit about how I deploy it on or publish it on AUR. So let's go. So here's the code base of the package, and the main thing starts from here, which is this bash script, this ses.sh. So as you can see, it's a very simple bash script. It basically just does few things like first it runs this drop-ins function, which we will see later, a little bit later. After then, it just prints this val, which I will tell what it is. After then, it runs a timer. So it's basically a another package which beautifully prints the progress bar of the timer and displays how much it is done. For that reason only, package like this. After that, we have a call to notify send, which is basically the package for command for sending the notification of Arch Linux, like the notification which appears on the top. In that, we are just saying that it's done. That's it. And then we are calling this drop-ins shutdown function. So the main motive behind this drop-ins and drop-ins shutdown is in drop-ins you will do some things, like for example you might change some settings, etc. So you have to undo those things somewhere. So for that reason only there is this drop-ins shutdown. So next, let's talk about the usage of this one. So you can see that we have to first type ses, which is the name of the command. After that, we have any string, which is this val one, and we will see how it is used later. After that, we have any integer duration, which is basically the like for how long do you want to continue. That is integer duration in seconds. Sorry, in minutes. So that's it. Now let's go to the drop-ins and see how it works. So the drop-ins are in this file actually. In ses includes, we have a file called ses.droppins.php.sh, and in this one we basically just have two functions. One is the drop-ins and then is the drop-ins shutdown. And above this we have to include all the drop-ins which we have. So currently we just have two drop-ins, which is one is the copyme.sh, and it's nothing but just a boilerplate code of a simple drop-in which literally does nothing. But whenever we want to create a new drop-in, we can just copy this one and create a new drop-in, which is this one, change DNS, which is a full-fledged drop-in, which is responsible for changing the DNS of your system. So we will see how each of these works now. But before that, then we just call these things over here. So copy me and then change DNS with this argument. That is the name of the session. We will see how it's used. And then in the shutdown, we call any shutdown function we have. So for copy me, we don't have any shutdown function, but for change DNS, we have a shutdown function.
So now let's see each of the drop-ins. So the first one is copy me. which is, as I told, just a placeholder or a bootstrap drop-in. So if you open this one, you will see that we only have one function, drop copy me, and it just echoes the thing out and literally does nothing. So the meaning of this drop-in is to just copy this one and then convert it to something useful. For example, this change DNS. So in the change DNS, you can see that we have two functions. One is the actual drop-in and then the shutdown function of the drop-in. So here you can see we have two conditions. So what is the meaning of the change DNS? So in change DNS, we want to change our DNS to something else when we start the session, and when we end the session, we just want to revert back and delete that extra DNS profile we added. That's it. So for this, so now if you know about how to change DNS, so DNS profile, so there is a configuration file for DNS which is present in systemd-resolved.conf folder over here. That is only this much, but it suggests that instead of editing that file directly, we can create a subfolder named system-resolved.conf.d, and inside that we can place as many as configuration files. And apparently they also call these files as drop-ins, and you can just create these files and they will act as your configuration files. So now we are allowing the users of this program, that is the session manager command program, to store their configuration files in their home directory under .worksys manager folder under DNS profiles folder. There they can create any name.conf file, and when they start the session with the name as suppose XYZ, we will search for xyz.conf file in this folder, and if it is present, just copy it to this subdirectory, that is the drop-ins folder of the resolve the service, and then just restart the system resolve the service. That's it. And if this is not found in our folder, then just say that couldn't change the DNS to this profile because the conf file we couldn't find. That's it. Now in the shutdown function, we have to just revert the changes. So we just delete this drop-in over here, and then we just again restart the service. That's it. And now we just once the plugins are ready in this sys dropins.sh, we can just call these main functions over here in the dropins function and the shutdown functions over here in the shutdown function. And now in the sys.sh, as you can see, we are just calling the uh, drop-ins function over here before the timer starts, and the drop-in shutdown over here after the timer ends. And that's it. Now let's see how to publish the package. So I use GitHub Actions to automatically publish the package whenever I create a new release on the repository. So before that, let's understand what a AUR package includes. So it actually just includes of two files. One is this pkg build, which is you can consider as a source for the package. Like it contains all the details of the package. For and thing we are interested in is the URL, which is this one. So it is upstream URL or the source code URL. The term is upstream URL. So what does it mean? That this URL contains the source code of this package. Now we have two more functions. So let's ignore this function for now. We have the main function over here, which is the package function. So what package function means is that how do you wish to install the plugin, and this is nothing but simply just some bash commands. Like you can do literally anything over here to install the package. So what we are doing is that we have simply this sys.sh and we want to make this executable, right? So we are just copying the sys.sh to the user bin directory as just sys, and then from here we are also including these things. So we want to copy this sys includes in the same format to the bin folder also. So that's what we are doing, just finding all of the files and just moving each of them to the /user bin folder in the same directory structure, that is sys includes, and within that we have these things, something like that. So now when we directly call sys from our terminal, the sys.sh on the bin folder will be executed, and as the directory structure will be completely same, so there is no problem in just including it, something like this, and going on. So this is the basic structure. I will not go into much deep about the about the pkg build file. So there is one more file which is the source info, which is basically a collection of metadata kind of thing for the pkg build. So we will see how that is created over here in the published script which we have. So now let's look at the GitHub action. So we have this GitHub action which runs when a new release is made. In the jobs, we have simply this part first, that is checkout repository, and then we have publish to AUR, in which we just run one bash script over here, which is publish. Now, if you go over here, you will see that what we do first, we set up the Git completely, that is the SSH keys, etc., because we need to push to the AUR repository. So AUR actually maintains the packages as a Git repository. It's a big Git repository and a big Git hosting service, I will say, and there are many repositories in it, and each repositories are packaged. So suppose a repository called XYZ doesn't exist. So if you are the first to push to that repository, then that repository is created, and that repository contains your SSH key, your SSH public key. So anyone else now can't push to that repository, which means that the repository name is the unique name for your package. That's it, nothing else. So now we are setting up the Git. After that, we are just cloning the AUR repo. After that, we are just, as you can see, we are just copying the two files which I told were required, pkg build and source info, to the repository folder. And then we are just doing the usual Git steps like add, commit, and push. That's it. And over here, we will need the secrets, so that those we are passing through the environment variables, which are stored in our GitHub repository secrets. That's it. So this is how the entire publish workflow works. This can be done manually, but obviously, as we have automation using GitHub Actions, so why not just automate it?
If you are a little confused about the last part about publishing the package, then you might want to watch this video, which explains about the whole package build, file structure, and like how actually a package is structured, etc. And once you understand the structure of a package, then understanding how it's pushed to AUR will be a very simple thing. So yeah, this might be helpful. So you can go ahead and refer this one.